Oh, all we can do right now is laugh just so we don't cry, right? Oh my goodness. Not a ton of words. Um, there's not a really we would love to give some like really in-depth analysis on why the 49ers lost, but we I think we all know why the 49ers lost. Um, I think one of the reasons why the 49ers are such a special team is because they really do thrive off energy. They really do thrive, and they gel. And when everything's like when the energy's good, and especially good from the quarterback position, what do we see? We see a team that operates well, that plays well, makes good decisions, all those kinds of things. But just like they played well last week because the energy from the quarterback position was really strong, well, unfortunately, the energy from the quarterback position this week was really bad. And as a result, 49ers were bad. like, a lot of people probably going to point to the deep. Again, we understand what happens when we lose. When the 49ers lose, it's post-mortem. Rip it apart. Why'd they lose? Pick apart the mistakes. Put a microscope on. So we get it. We know the vibes here. This isn't our first rodeo. But at the end of the day, the reason why I started off talking about the vibe and the energy is because with that interception to George Kittle, and then to come back the very next drive with the miss pass to Juice, it just really felt like the energy that they had and built up going into that game, which was there. Again, that game should have been a blowout. We should be talking about how like I should be super excited right now to wrap all the Christmas presents that I have to wrap and just be like, yeah, we got a dub. I don't care that I'm going to be up until 11 o'clock wrapping presents. It doesn't matter. 49ers didn't happen. And the reason why it didn't happen is because when Jimmy unfortunately isn't in that zone that we have seen, we saw it last week. When he's not in that zone, I feel like the team feels it and then they play like that. It's the weirdest, wildest thing. Like, I don't have what am I supposed to say? Like, what, like, the energy was thrown off so early, so fast. Again, the 10s, okay, 10-0 at halftime. Great. The 49ers, they still had a 10-0 lead at halftime. What did they do when they got the ball back at halftime? They gave it right back to them. That not only did they score on the first drive of the second half, that being the Titans, but we threw an interception and gave it right back to them on the first play. That's why this team lost. Like, they can fight through turnovers and interceptions and bad plays. That's football. Of course they can do that. But it's how it happens. It's the progression. It's the energy that is sucked out of your team in those moments. A lot of people, I've heard people say momentum in sports isn't real. I've heard people say, "Oh, momentum, that's not no, that's what we saw was the like epitome of momentum and lack thereof. Uh, they came out hot. They came out firing. They came out ready to go. Defense was playing lights out. Offense was actually playing pretty decently. But after the turnovers and then repeated turnovers, you could sense the jitteriness. You could sense that strong energy that we started the game with. It faded. That's momentum. That is momentum. And right now, our quarterback is the protector of the momentum. And unfortunately, it wasn't protected tonight. Justin on YouTube says, wasn't play calls, wasn't the defense, it was Jimmy. Everyone pulled their weight except good O-line, bad Jimmy. Maybe he stayed out too late. Nolan says Kyle was dialed in. Jimmy loses it after first drive. So I get it. Like, we're all pissed. Like, we're all upset. No one's happy. I know we're supposed to be happy. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. We're supposed to be spending lots of good time with our friends and our families and all those kinds of things. But I'm going to be real honest. I have a sour taste in my mouth. Like, so sour. One of the most this is arguably, to me, one of the worst losses of the year. And we've had some bad losses. Like, the 49ers have had some bad losses this year, but this one is super sour for some reason. Super sour for some reason. It's tough, man. It is absolutely tough. Just was not the game that we expected. Again, we talk about it all the time. There's good Jimmy, there's bad Jimmy. We got bad Jimmy tonight, and as a result, the kind of team followed. And when I talk about it week in and week out about how this team feeds off the energy of Jimmy Garoppolo, they do. And I feel like tonight is a perfect example of that. They feed off Jimmy Garoppolo, good or bad. Now, they almost got back into it. But again, I don't know, man. I think that's why this team is so frustrating. I think that's why it can be really frustrating at times watching this team, because when it feels like they're taking the turn, we're like, oh my goodness, they finally have an identity. I think we know who they are. I think we know what they are. They remind us that is still a work in progress, and a painful one at that. Cash the God says, bro, Jimmy literally gave the game away. I mean, Cash, you're not the only one that feels like that. There's a lot of people right now. I mean, the chat it's Trey it's Trey chat. It's Jimmy Soul chat. It's when we know the vibes. We've been here before. we know what it is after a loss like that, especially at the hands, just the way it happened. Justin says, can we win out after this early game given the extra rest? Maybe too early to ask that question after this game. I mean, yes, the 49ers have been able to win every single game they have played this year. That's why this team is so frustrating. This team is capable of being able to win literally every single game this year. But what is the common thread? Self-implosion. That's the common theme. That is the common theme. And it hasn't always been Jimmy, but tonight, in front of the entire world, that's what the rest of the world saw tonight. That's what they saw. Like, maybe that was the first 49er game that some of these fans have ever turned on. It's Thursday night football. We're not always on prime time. We're not in front of everyone all the time. So there's people out there that was their first time experiencing Jimmy Garoppolo this year. Just like, man, it's like that team that we just watched. Do they look like they could go like far into the playoffs? No, the team we saw against the Titans, or I'm sorry, against the Falcons were. But which team is it? And it's not like the 49ers faced a world beater in the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans were hurt, and we got them limping fast, quick. Like we got them quick, and we got them reeling fast. We got it was going our way. Like, I was like, oh, it's a blowout. Like, we're about to blow this team out. I'm about to have a super fun Christmas, pre-Christmas Eve, wrapping all my presents, victory, what is it? Friday. Like, oh my gosh, dude. That's what happens when you look too far ahead. Vanessa says, Jimmy needs, oh goodness, Vanessa. This is a children's show. I can't finish that one. Damn. I cannot finish that one. Hey, maybe you're right, though. I don't know. Justin says, any draft stock? Jimmy Grew is gone 100%. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, I get it. Like, this was an opportunity for a lot of things to happen. This was an opportunity for Nick Bosa to solidify his Defensive Player of the Year campaign, which, again, game flow matters for that. game flow matters for that. If the 49ers were up 24-0 in the first half, would you imagine what that defense, that D line would have done with all the energy and the momentum to the 49ers at home, at their home? Nick Bosa probably would have came away with a ton of sacks. That whole defense would have just kept eating. But unfortunately, when you give teams opportunities, guess what? They will take them. It's the NFL. This is the NFL. Like, that's what happens. You can't give them opportunities. And the 49ers we've seen this from not just this team, but like under the Kyle Shanahan regime. If they let teams hang around, how many times have we seen it come back to bite us? Lots of times. So we've seen lots of opportunities where the 49ers have let teams just hang around, and that's what happens. Same process, same thought process for the Falcons. Everyone's like, put Trey Lance in the fourth quarter. And it was like, no, this team has not proven to anyone that even with a big lead that they can maintain it. So that was practice. That was practice of maintaining a big lead. You don't just bench people because like, oh, we're ahead. It's not how it works in this league. It's not how it works. JT says, keep your head up, y'all. We got Houston next week. We'll definitely keep our heads up. Obviously, just a little bummed out, little sour, you know. It's tough, man, right before Christmas Eve, too. Ben Phillips on YouTube says, our two biggest holes on the team are the two most important positions in modern football: elite quarterback and starting corner. I mean, I thought Ambry Thomas did a pretty good job. Now, they started to just really attack him, and they not just him in general. They just started attacking the 49ers defense with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown had a really solid second half. And I thought Ambry Thomas had multiple good plays. I thought, again, the development. He's a rookie. So with him, I'm seeing the development. I'm seeing the progress. And that's all you can ask for from a young kid. You know, whatever. We're not going to talk about the other side because we know what's going on the other side of Ambry Thomas. I thought Jimmy Ward played pretty well. I thought Tart played another great game. It's just the momentum. The momentum killed us, man. The momentum killed us. High Altitude MMA says, Jimmy last snap as our quarterback can't come soon enough. I know that is a big sentiment right now amongst a lot of angry 49er fans. But he will be our quarterback for the rest of this year. So we got to hang on. Vanessa says, yo, who's going to the last home game? I'll be there. I will be there as well. I will be at the Texans game. Hopefully under a little better circumstances. Thank you, Mike, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you to all you guys who drop in super chats. I know it's tough. It's not fun after an L, especially an L like that. Like I said, we've had some bad losses this year. We have. The Green Bay game. I was at the Green Bay game. I witnessed Aaron Rodgers find Devontae Adams. I witnessed it. I've witnessed some bad games. But this one hurts, man. This one hurts. JB says almost 3 interceptions. Couldn't a rookie give you that? I mean, that's an argument that we'll save for the offseason. Right now, like, I think we can all at least try to understand. Yeah, the hat. I know. All of it. It's all screwed. We at least understand. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. We're gonna talk about the rookie in the offseason because I don't know what else to say about him at this point, to be perfectly honest. Cash the God says, I cannot wait till next season, man. #play Trey. Eddie Marcos 916 says everyone is blaming Jimmy, but as a whole team loss, including Kyle play calling. Yeah, it's always going to be a team loss. If you've ever been on any type of team, especially football team, when there's a lot of people involved, it's they're better at compartmentalizing this stuff than fans are. Like we're so hypersensitive to it all. They have a much better way of kind of compartmentalizing all these issues and stuff. But again, I think it is fair to say, I think it's fair to say we talked about this in the pregame show. We talked about the front seven. They have a good front seven. We want them to run the ball. However, we knew that the front seven was going to prove to be a little bit more difficult than a team like the Falcons. So you could see they weren't able to run the ball very often. And when this team isn't kind of gelling back and forth between run, play action, pass, and then they're making kind of the knucklehead mistakes along the way, they just have a really hard time kind of overcoming those things and being able. It's tough, man. Vanessa's going to be there. If you're going to be there at the Texans, go say what up, Vanessa. She'll be at section 128, row 14. We see you. I don't know where I'm sitting yet. Hopefully good, though. Cash the God, I appreciate you. Says, smash the likes. We support Brad. Hashtag sourdough squad. I appreciate that. I really do. I of course I do. Because I think we can all say, Instagram, all my people over here, we're all 49er fans. So regardless of the hows and the whys and the intricacies of it all, we're all upset. We're all mad. Like, we're all bummed out. We're all hurt. So let's go easy on each other, all right? Let's keep we'll talk about the loss. We'll talk about it. But come on, man. Let's be easy on each other. I know lots of people pulling out receipts. I know all that kind of stuff's going on. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm pissed too. Trust me, man. I'm pissed. I did not want to be angry rapping presents tonight. I tell you what. I did not want to be doing that. What do you guys want to talk about though? Like, what do we want to stick? Do we just want to keep hammering home on the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff? Because I know, I mean, I see the chats. That's all the chat is Jimmy Garoppolo talk. So we can stay there. We can talk about some of the other performances if we want to. I mean, Deebo Samuel almost became the hero again. Deebo Samuel continues to be arguably MVP of the 49ers offense. He had 9 receptions, 159 yards. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get George Kittle going. Only 2 catches for 21 yards. Got Brandon Ayuk a touchdown. Would have loved to see an opportunity to get George Kittle the ball more. I don't know if, again, that will be something that the tape will reveal. We'll find out if there was a concerted effort to double George Kittle. So we'll find out once we go back and watch the tape. Oh, this tape is going to be so ugly to watch. Just off the back of the Falcons game where it was so fun to watch. The Falcons tape was really great. This tape is not going to be great. This tape is not going to be great. It's not going to be too fun to watch, which sucks. Cash the God says Deebo and Ayuk. I think there's an emoji in there, but doesn't show it here on YouTube. Man, you guys are coming for his neck. Justin says Jimmy played like a porch pup, not a hunting dog. Man, it's tough, man. It's tough. Here's Vanessa's trying to break up some of the animosity. What are y'all eating for Christmas? Let's see. I don't know. I don't even know. I know I got like 5 places to go between tomorrow and the next day, and I'm probably going to be eating a lot, and I'm going to be trying to eat my pain away. That's what I'll be trying to do. So all the Christmas cookies and the all, just give it to me. Just insert, because Brad is sad. Why sad, Brad? Brad sad. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Let's see. Let's see what some Instagram questions got. Um okay, hold on 1 second. So I see people wanting to see what the playoff implication is. I see that we want to kind of figure out, you know, what is going on. How does that affect seeding? Obviously, some teams have been winning, specifically in our division, and the ones that we don't want to win. So I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna take a look right now. Doesn't look to be updated, but this is what it is. So, right, it doesn't. Is it updated? Bear with me. Okay, it is updated. So the 49ers are now 8-7 on the year. They still maintain the 6th seed. So right now, they haven't moved. They stay in the 6th seed. They came into this game as the 6th seed. They are now still the 6th seed. The team behind the 49ers in the 7th hole are the Vikings. There is a 1-game differential between the 49ers and the Vikings, plus the 49ers own the tiebreaker. So as long as the 49ers at least split, if the 49ers at the very least split the Texans and Rams game, they should be limping into the playoffs. They should be getting there. Because the teams that are behind them in seeding, you have the Eagles in the 8th hole at 7-7. 49ers have a game up on them, plus the tiebreaker. 9th seed is the Saints. They're 7-7. However, there's no tiebreaker. So really, the only team that could kind of make things, I think, a little bit hectic for the 49ers is, if they don't win one of these games, again, they got the Texans at home. That should be a game they win, but we'll see who shows up and how they show up. There's still a great chance that they make the playoffs. The probability rate is probably, I would say, above 50%, probably around 65, 70%. I don't know, somewhere in that range, that the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. So it's the still outlook is good that they get in the playoffs. However, we all understand that if that team that we just watched against the Titans shows up in the playoffs, we know what that means. With just being as truthful as possible. If that type of team shows up in the playoffs, it's 1 game out. So the hope is that the 49ers can use these last 2 games. Texans at home, Rams on the road. 49ers play well on the road in LA. They do. And we know they play typically well against the Rams. But that is not a end all be all in this situation. Again, there's a reason why I've treated this season as a 1-game playoff, because we don't know what this team is. We don't know which version is going to show up week to week. Now, when you start to feel a semblance of consistency, there's a step back. So that is the most concerning thing. The hope is that they still keep pushing, get into the playoffs. It's just we don't want to see that step back happen in the playoffs. The hope is that what December football is all about. It's about playing with continuity and moving and playing at a great level into the playoffs. And you take the momentum of December football, and then you push it into the playoffs. This game, I would imagine, is going to do something interesting for that locker room. I don't know what it is, but I imagine they're going to have some conversations about like what. And again, it's not an X's and O's thing. It's not an ability thing. I really think it's an energy thing. It's a momentum thing. It's like, because it's insane when you see them start trickling down bad energy and negative momentum. It's like a tsunami of bad energy follows it. I've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of damn football in my life, but I've never seen a team so impacted by energy and momentum. It's crazy. It really, really is crazy. Lee on YouTube says, I'm so sick of Jimmy G worshippers always making excuses for him. He lost this game alone. He is a mediocre quarterback who consistently proves he's inconsistent. I mean, I hear you, my guy. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. That's nice. But I think what Asa's trying to say, and what he is saying, is kind of what we're talking about. The inconsistencies can hurt a little bit from the quarterback position, and when they show up, you can see how the team. It's almost like they become those inconsistencies. It's interesting, but what do we expect? It's a quarterback. That's the leader of the team. That's the guy. So when the guy is inconsistent, is it really too far fetched to like really wrap your heads around the entire team being inconsistent? Because one of the things that you hear players talk about all the time, this team has taken on the mentality of their head coach. That's what happens. You take on the mentality of your leaders. Clearly, this team is galvanized to Jimmy Garoppolo. I would say much more than Kyle Shanahan, even though Kyle Shanahan's the coach, but that's boss. We all have had bosses before. You clock in, you go home. You clock in, you do your work. Clock out, you go home. Doesn't mean you love your boss. So it really does feel like this team is galvanized to Jimmy Garoppolo. So they kind of go as Jimmy goes. Kyle said it last week. We go as Jimmy goes. Jimmy didn't go well today, and neither did the team. And do you notice how those things are co-aligned? It feels like a comorbid situation. Again, football at this level is so mental. It's almost more mental than anything else. Now, of course, these guys are top-tier athletes. They're fantastic. They're the craziest athletes in the world, physical specimens. But what makes the great ones great? It's the mentality. It's the preparation. It's the process. So when it feels like the mentality isn't there from Jimmy, it's like the rest of them feel it, just like they felt it when he was there against the Falcons. So that's just the most concerning thing from tonight. Justin says, was Jimmy a one more pick away from being benched? I don't know. That's hard to say. The 49ers have done a really good job of sticking by Jimmy Garoppolo. Whether you agree with it or not, I do commend them for at least standing up and sticking with him. But I did kind of feel like if there was one more interception, because the way in succession that it was happening, I felt like if he had one more pick after that drive that he threw the pick in the second half, I thought it was a possibility. I thought it was. Obviously, he drove them down to get the touchdown and do all that good stuff. Dakotor Seuss, probably destroyed your name. I apologies. Says, I don't think we can trust Jimmy G in the playoffs. If he's consistent from here on out, he will have a step back in the playoffs. It's what he does. And so I think this is, again, the overarching theme of today's live, right, is inconsistent. Inconsistent or consistently inconsistent. We all know, at least I believe, the best players in the NFL are the most consistent players. The best players are the ones who are consistently good. Consistently. I don't know what else to say. Um, and so we know it's been a bit of a process this year to be consistent. But like against the Rams, Jags, and the Vikings, we're like, oh, there's some consistency there. There's a step in the right direction. There's some consistency. And then what happened? They went up to Seattle and they fell apart. Jimmy didn't have a great game in Seattle. Jimmy's energy, Jimmy's vibe kind of matched the performance. Then Bengals, he had a good vibe against the Bengals. He played well against the Bengals. Again, he might have almost, made a couple bad plays here or there, but the energy was up and he was good. And they had a good game. Offense responded. Next week, same thing. Energy was good. Offense responded. So I know that's gonna be hard for a lot of people, man. It's gonna be hard for a lot of people to kind of wrap their head around the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback of this team. He's not really going anywhere. And yeah, that's I think that's the hardest part. I think it's the hardest part. I know it's turning into a massive Jimmy Garoppolo episode. Is there anything else we want to talk about other than Jimmy Garoppolo? How do I think our season will end? How do I think our season will end? I hope the 49ers demolish the Texans. I hope they take, because let's be real. If you're a player of that team, it's gonna be a hard week. I get it. It's Christmas. Christmas Eve tomorrow. Christmas. It's gonna be a tough situation for those players. They're going to be salty on Christmas. They're going to be salty with their family. Again, those are the types of losses that stick with you. So, how do they respond? I hope they respond by demolishing the Texans. That's how I hope they respond. I hope they respond by demolishing the Texans and then going to LA week 18. I want them to win. But at the very least, again, what I've asked for from this team is for them to be competitive. What we've seen from this team is self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound. Those are the things that we've seen. And that's what makes this year so frustrating. That's what makes this year so difficult. Amidst all the offseason turmoil, that's what has made this season so difficult. Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. The season's not over. We've seen this team bounce back. We've seen them do it time and time again. But I understand. I understand the level of or lack of optimism at this point. Trying to be optimistic a little bit. But, it's tough, man. It's tough. But it's trying to weigh. There's so much to process right now, especially immediately after a loss, especially after a bad loss. So it is what it is. That is the saying of the year. So again, like I said, best case scenario, I hope the 49ers split at the very least. They have to split. They have to beat the Texans, LA Rams. It would be great feeling for not only the team, but for the fan base. Because we know well enough that winning cures all. Everyone's upset. I got people yelling at me right now, telling me I never played football. Like, we understand. You're angry. It's okay. Take it out on me if you want. I played football, but go ahead, tell me I didn't play football. If it makes you feel better about my opinion, then go for it. If you want to direct your anger at me, I'm right here. Go for it. But at the end of the day, this team has to execute. They have to step onto that field and they have to perform. That's what it is. They have the talent. They have the coaching. Even with the injuries, this team is good. They are great when they perform and execute. But that's it. We've had an execution issue for some time now. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Ain't nothing I'm saying right now going to change a damn thing. So at the end of the day, what do we do about it? We tuck our heads, we cry, we yell at everyone. What do we do? I'm sure there's some people in here have already DM'd Jimmy Garoppolo and told him he sucks. That makes you feel better. And that makes you feel better. But, we're salty. We're salty. I appreciate all you guys showing the love. I do. I know. I point out the one negative. I appreciate you guys showing love. I really do. I see you guys for sure. For sure. Justin says, would Lance have done worse than Jimmy tonight? I don't know. Again, like that question, like I understand the thought process. I understand like why we would ask that. I ask myself that question, but I've also asked myself that question since week 1, since training camp. But I'm not running the team. I'm not in meetings. I'm not in the day-to-day practices. I don't know what they are doing. If I was in that locker room and I watched every single practice, I would have a fantastic idea. I would be able to tell you. I would be able to tell you where Trey is and where Jimmy is. I would. Because I know how to watch football. But I don't have that access. So to be able to say Trey would have played better tonight, I have no idea. I would imagine because Jimmy just played that bad. Like he had a bad game. That was one of Jimmy's probably worst games of the it was just a bad game. It was just a bad game. And does Trey like yeah, if Trey started week 1 and he had 16 games or 15 games to get to this point and started, would he have had a better game than Jimmy? Probably. Jimmy had a pretty bad game. I've seen Taylor Heineke and like PJ Walker and no-name quarterback after no-name quarterback have better games than what we've just watched. But we also understand that isn't who Jimmy is all the time. So it's trying to conceptualize and compartmentalize like what the reality is. And the reality is this team is still good. The reality, this team can beat any team that you face and put in front of them. I still believe that right now. Right now, I still believe that if you took this 49ers team with Jimmy Garoppolo, with Josh Norman, with all these cast of characters, I still think they could beat any team in the NFL right now based on talent, based on scheme, based on coaches. I think they can. But we also know that playing football is a lot more than just plugging guys in and just, oh, we're going to play. That's it. We have look what the stats in the paper say. The stats in the paper mean we're going to win. That's why what was the coach that said it? I think it was Herm Edwards. That's why we play the game. We play to win the game. That's why it's played. If we just played paper football all the time, what's the point? So it is what it is. This team is capable. They still have an opportunity to go far. But trust me. Does anyone believe that right now? Let me pull the chats. Let me pull the chats. How far do you think the 49ers go with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback? Jimmy's at the podium right now. Ooh. I kind of want to hear that. But yeah, chat is responding. No, yes. No, not far. Oh, this is fun stuff. It's fun stuff, man. So, but that exactly. Do we notice how the answers are all over the place? Do we see that? Lots of different answers. So, DJ says after a loss, you really think they are behind Jimmy G? I think the locker room is. I don't think I mean, one of the things that I've, come to believe, and from many different sources, this team is behind Jimmy Garoppolo. And when you're on a team and one of your guys doesn't play well, you don't cast him out. Like, that's as a locker room. Like, the coaches might cut you and fire you and kick you out, but I really think that these guys all still have Jimmy's back. I think they still have his back. So I mean, I see people talking about locker room or George. No, I've heard from defensive players, offline, off the record. Yeah, these guys, they ride with Jimmy. Like, they truly believe in him. Like, don't think that all the things that Fred Warner says is just lip service about Jimmy Garoppolo. They believe that stuff, man. They believe in him. I think you can see that again when we try to analyze football. When we try to analyze football, we're analyzing the play on the field, but football is so much more than that. It's such a complex game dealing with humans and lots of humans. And as you know, all of you who work and work with other people, there's a managing of emotions, managing of ego, managing of character. It's a big dynamic, big part of it. Big part of it. So it was it's tough. It's tough, man. These comments are wild, man. These comments are wild. It would oh man. Oh goodness. I mean, I get it. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Like, I know all you guys only care about is wins. I get it. I get it. You care about winning, care about losing. I get it. But there's so much more to football than that. I guess that's why I'm here, right? I guess that's why I'm talking to you guys, and I guess that's why we're having conversations, is because there's a lot that goes into football. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know it all. I know a lot. I don't know at all. But we understand there's multiple issues involved. Multiple issues. And we also understand the quarterback is the most glaring position. All the eyes are on the quarterback. It is what it is. Quarterback didn't have a good game. Plain and simple. Is he capable of having good games? Yes. We saw it last week. But that is what you will hear. You will hear then that the rebuttal to that is, well, he's consistently inconsistent. So it is what it is, man. I can only say the same thing so many times about Jimmy. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Let's do this in the chat. Let's do this. Drop a question and or comment or whatever, something you want to talk about other than Jimmy Garoppolo. Anyone? Let's talk about Lance. I should have prefaced that. Yeah, we talked about Debo. Debo's good, man. Vanessa says food. I'll talk about food. I can talk about food all day. We'll turn this into a SF Diners episode real quickly. Can you talk about the impact of Emmanuel Moseley coming back soon? Huge. Losing Emmanuel. Now, listen. I watched Ambry Thomas in training camp with my own two eyes. He was not very good in training camp. And what he's been doing these last 2 weeks, and again, going from Falcons to Titans, I thought he improved. I thought Ambry Thomas improved. That's development. It's not going to happen all at once. And that's another thing that people need to remember is that when players are in the middle of the development process, it does not happen right away. It takes time. It takes time to develop who you are and what you're about. And with Ambry Thomas, we're starting to see it. He had a couple PBUs again on AJ Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So Ambry's doing okay. All right. At least Ambry made some PBUs, man. I really hope that when Emmanuel Moseley comes back, the 49ers keep Ambry Thomas out there with KK, and then we'll see what happens. But Emmanuel Moseley, we know what his impact is. Emmanuel Moseley has been so good this year, and losing him has been tough. It's been tough. It really has. So hopefully with Emmanuel Moseley coming back, potentially in the playoffs, that helps change a lot of what the defense is doing. Because again, we saw it against the Rams when Emmanuel Moseley was out there against Stafford and all those guys. I think Moseley almost had 2 picks that game. So good question though. Good non-quarterback question. Can we do 2 in a row? Can we do two non-quarterback questions in a row? Justin said the O-line played pretty well. Honestly, it looked like they played okay. There wasn't, again, considering the defensive line that they're facing against, Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons. Do we all recognize who Jeffrey Simmons is yet? He's a good player. He's a very good player. I scouted him very heavily out of Mississippi State. He's a guy that I really like. And you can see he's gonna be a force in this league from the interior. So again, I'm challenging non-Jimmy Garoppolo questions. Why didn't Kittle get targeted much? That is something that the tape will tell me. Once I get the all 22 and I do my study of the offense, I'll have an understanding of why George Kittle didn't get the ball. My thoughts are, again, because the way we're watching it, and it's different watching broadcasts. My thoughts are that they had a concerted effort to bracket Kittle. Now, I don't know for a fact, um, but that is my thought process, is that they wanted anyone but him uh, to be involved. Um, they want guys like Brandon Ayuk to beat them. Obviously, Debo Samuel still got away and was able to make some plays, but I think the Titans knew that, like, if both Debo and Kittle are going crazy, um, wouldn't have been great. So I think they took the lesser of two evils, understanding how the 49ers use Debo, especially out of the backfield. It's another opportunity for them to dedicate more defenders to George Kittle. So that's what I imagine. I didn't see it. Someone said Bosa's a no-show tonight. He actually would have had a sack, but he got literally held away from getting the sack. Also, like I said about that, game flow dictated a whole bunch of that, man. Game flow dictated a whole bunch of that. If the 49ers were up 24-0 in the second, before the second half, Debo would have feasted. That's funny. The Kenny Vaccaro thing. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see if Kevin Byard really did clamp Kittle like Vaccaro said. Oh, I'll take that L. I'll take that L. I'll take that one for sure. James Foster says 3rd and 26 with 8 seconds left in the third quarter. I think that was the big play we gave up, right, on defense. That's what happens, man. That's what happens when your mentality takes a hit, when that energy takes a hit. Those types of plays where you feel like you're going to stop them when the game isn't going your way and they hit a 3rd and 26, again, mentality, par for the course. Like, oh, that's how this game's going. So really a lot of problems started, in my opinion, from the kind of energy tilt there at the beginning. That was the toughest part. Niner fans go after every player that has an off game, no matter what. Facts. That's true. Our fans are crazy sometimes. What's good, Below? I'm chilling right now, man. I got multiple streams going. I'm not gonna do a live right now with any other people. I see you though. Appreciate you always checking in and supporting my guy. Let's see. What other? How did I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels like whenever AJ Brown made a catch on the left side, which is Josh Norman's side, it's just Josh Norman. Again, I'm not a defensive back. I didn't play DB, so I'm not going to pretend like I know the in-depth details of coverage responsibilities and all those kinds of things. But a lot of those plays, I felt like they're getting beat on zones, and they were just playing too soft. They're just soft coverage. Again, you had a couple plays where it feels like Josh Norman was kind of fading his zone, but there was no one threatening his zone to fade like that, if that makes sense. So, like I said, tape will tell. But it just felt like they gave him too much of a cushion. At least with Ambry, it felt like Ambry was trying to just play a little better. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough, tough L. Any way you shake it. Um, it was just a bad one. That was not a good one. Was not this. Like I said, I think that was the most sour loss I think I've had of the year because it's a game that I think we can all agree that the 49ers should have won and should have won handily. Not just on paper either. Not like just what I've talked about before. It wasn't just a paper victory. No, it was they were doing it. They were taking it to them. It looked like it was going to be a boat race. Man, man, that's tough. So like I I pray for any this is not I don't even know if I should say this. I probably shouldn't say that. I probably shouldn't say that. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. That's not I'm not going to go there. Sorry. Trying to keep myself up. Trying to keep myself up. So at the end of the day, 49ers are still locked into the 6th seed. They still have a 1-game lead on the Vikings. A split with these last 2 games should do it for the most part. Should do it for the most part. See, I'm not going to say it because it's just rude. Like what I was going to say, like it doesn't bring any value. It doesn't bring any value to the table. It would have been a cheap shot, and I'm not going to do it. I'm better than that. Even you guys can bait me as much as you want and to do. I'm not. I can't do it. Can't do it. So 49ers still have a shot. 49ers still have a shot at the playoffs. It is what it is, man. God. Man. Woo! Fun stuff. Big Boss wants me to say it. I'm not. I'm not going to say it. Not now. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the next day. I'm not going to say it. I think Tyrell is right. I think I need to spend some time with the family. I know I got a ton of presents to wrap. I'm sure you guys do too. I'm sure you guys got a lot of last minute stuff to figure out before Christmas Eve and all that kind of stuff. So again, not at all what we wanted. Not at all. This isn't a Chris. This is like getting coal for Christmas, essentially. But we all have, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. So let's try not to dwell. Let's try not to dwell too much. Let's try not to let this seep into our time with our families and things like that. Again, it was a tough loss. It was a sour one. And there's no taking away that. But what we can do is we can try our best to manage our emotions. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Max said first Frank Gore, now this. Oh, I needed that laugh. Thank you. Thank you. I needed that laugh, man. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. But it's been tough. Woo! All right, guys. Dave said, Brad, this has ruined my Christmas. I'm about to go wrap presents, hella angry. So I feel you, Dave. It's all good. Probably be light tomorrow. I definitely not doing a live tomorrow. Definitely not doing a live the next day. So that means that I'll probably be talking to you guys next on Sunday when we oh, God. It feels like it would have been a great year to have a game after Christmas. But I hope you guys are doing all right, man. I know it's a tough one. We're all pissed off. We're all hurt. I feel it. But Bose, you know, man. You know I'm about to be damn it. Just kids are staring at me like no, I lie. My kids won't be there because I'm wrapping their presents. So what am I talking about? I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Again, we understand the circumstances, but shouldn't rule our time with our families. Shouldn't rule our time around this special time of the year. So I appreciate you guys as always. Of course, all the continued support, feedback, engagement, good or bad, we'll take it. I appreciate it. If I wasn't getting bad feedback, that means I'm probably not doing something right. So we appreciate it all. I thank you guys, as always, for supporting the channel, supporting me on Instagram, supporting me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You guys are making a young ginger's dreams come true. What I got to remind myself is I got to talk about freaking the 49ers for a living, man. So, although tonight sucked and is not what we wanted, it's okay. We'll make it work. Season's not over. So, we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep pushing. And oh, thank you, Josh. We love Josh as well. I'll see you guys on the other side. Hey, if I didn't have a soul, I wouldn't feel bad, right? Like if I was a ginger, like they say, gingers don't have souls, I wouldn't be feeling bad, but I'm feeling bad. So I'll catch you guys on the other side. You guys have a fantastic week as best as you can with your families. Merry Christmas to you guys all. I hope you guys have a phenomenal time, regardless of the circumstances. But I'll see you guys likely on Sunday. So much love. See you guys on the other side.